All right, Arkansas fans, with a 4-point win over Samford and a 1-point win over Winthrop last night, is it time to panic? Let's dive in. So I don't want to keep beating a dead horse here over what we need to get better on. I think we all agree. And if you've listened to my other videos, I've kind of already went over this. We need to get better at rebounding, defensive rebounding especially. We need to get better at shot selection. And then our defense has to get a lot better. We still give up way too many open looks. We have mental collapses on defense, where we give up wide open threes, wide open layups, and we're just not communicating or rotating fast enough. So we got to get better there, but I've already went over that. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse as far as that goes. I think we all know where we need to improve, but let's talk about what we did well last night. So last night, Malik Thomas absolutely saved our bacon last night. So he played amazing. He had 26 points, and in the second half, he was going on runs all by himself. I mean, offensively, if it wasn't for him, we would have lost that game. So he made some tough buckets last night. He was doing what he can do. He's an absolute bucket. He's going to put up a ton of points for us this year. I think he's probably one of the top pure scorers that Arkansas has had over the last 30 years. So he's going to have games where he's just, Arkansas's offense all on his own. Darius Acuff had a down game. He didn't play great. He wasn't very efficient. I think he shot 3 for 10. He missed a lot of shots that he's normally going to make, some open shots where he was creating for himself that he just missed. So he's going to play better. Everybody's going to have an off game here and there. I was really happy with the way Nick Pringle played. He had double-digit points. He had 7 rebounds. He played really well for us last night. We need him to play like that more consistently. So I liked both of our bigs, the way they played. We rebounded better last night than we had in the past, but we still need to get better on the rebounds, on the defensive rebounds especially. Winthrop, they had 8 offensive rebounds. Arkansas only had 7. So I think that's 2 or 3 games in a row where the other team that we played, especially these small schools, they're out rebounding us on the offensive end. So we have to get better at that. We got to clean that up. But Nick Pringle, I was still happy with the way he played. If he can play like that consistently, then, we're going to have a chance to beat some of these really good teams. I also like the way Trevin Brazil played. He's been more consistent this year. We don't need him to put up 20 points. We just need him to score 13 to 15 a night. We need him to be an absolute beast on the defensive side, though. He has the potential, he has the skill set, he has the length, the athleticism to be one of the best defensive players in the country. Just sometimes on the defensive end, if you watch him, he seems to lose focus. He doesn't try as hard as he should. But he had a couple of blocks last night on the perimeter against three-point shooters that might have saved the game for us. So Winthrop, they played their game last night. They like to run up and down. They like to play fast. They like to score a lot of points, shoot a lot of threes. That's exactly what they did last night. I don't think that they're going to shoot that well all the time. So, Rozier, he was 7 for 10 from the three-point line. He was absolutely on fire. And honestly, they made a lot of contested shots last night too. So I do think our defense was a little bit better, even though we gave up, 82 points to Winthrop. That's not great. We need to play better than that, especially when we're playing good teams. We've got Duke coming up next week on Thanksgiving. We got Louisville after that. If we can't stop those guys on defense, they're going to beat us by 15 plus points. So we got to be better on the defensive end for sure, but I'm really happy with the way, Malik Thomas played. He saved the day last night. Nick Pringle scored 4 of our last 6 points to put us in the lead last night. So he also played really great. Trevin Brazil played well. And then, Darius Acuff, he's gonna play better. I mean, that dude is ridiculous. He just had an off night last night. Expect him to bounce back next week. We got Jackson State coming up, and then we've got Duke. So I really want us to see Jackson State. I think they're 0-3. I want us to see us beat Jackson State by 30 plus points. We don't need to have another close game. Even though we're glad that we're having these close games early on in the season. We're going through adversity now. I think that is good for our team. We know what we need to work on. We know what we need to get better at. But, obviously we want to win these games by more. I think we were 22.5 point favorites last night. We won by 1. So not a great sign. My expectations for this team at the beginning of the year were higher. I thought we'd be better than we are right now. We should be beating Samford and Winthrop by 20 plus points, not by 1 or 2 possessions. So we do have to be better. You know, against Duke, if we play like we did last night, Duke is going to blow us out. So we'll really see. We'll kind of be able to gauge where we are next week. I do still think that we have the skill, the talent, the athleticism, the depth to be a Final Four basketball team this year. We just got to pull it all together. And the main thing is going to be our defense. Offensively, we're going to be able to hang with anybody, with Malik Thomas, you know, Darius Acuff, Trevin Brazil, those guys. We're going to be able to hang with anybody on offense. One more thing that really needs to improve is Carter Knox. Carter Knox has to play better. Carter Knox hasn't really done hardly anything this year except for that game against UCA where he had 19 points. Other than that, I think he's been in single digits every game that he's played. He really needs to step up for us. He needs to be consistent. He needs to be our third best player. I think it's already pretty much set in stone, determined that our two best players are going to be our rookies, our freshmen, Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff. Those dudes are really, really good. They're going to be high draft picks, lottery picks in the NBA. But I know Carter Knox, the reason he came back is because he wanted to get up higher in the draft, be a first rounder. I think he's pressing a little bit, trying to kind of force his game. He really needs to come in, let the game come to him, stop forcing everything. He needs to be a rebounder, offensive rebounder, defensive wing guy, make shots, get out and fast break, finish, you know, do things like that. But he has to be more consistent. He has to play better. Carter Knox should be our third best player this season. And right now, I mean, he's probably our sixth or seventh best player so far this year. So at the end of the day, a win's a win's a win, especially when we had so much adversity last night. You know, Winthrop was knocking down everything. They shot a super good percentage from three. That's not going to happen every night. So even though Winthrop was shooting the way they did, Darius Acuff had an off night. We still found a way to win. At the end of the season, the only thing that's going to matter is that W on the calendar. So yeah. We need to keep stacking up wins, and you know we're going to be okay. So it's not time to panic, Arkansas fans. It's not time to panic yet. We'll see how we do next week against Duke and Louisville once we start playing real competition. But I don't like beating Samford by 4 and Winthrop by 1. We need to be blowing teams like that out. We'll see how we play against Jackson State, and then we start playing some real teams again. So. Tell me what you think in the comments, how you feel about last night's game. Is it time to panic, Arkansas fans, or do you think we're going to be okay? Like, subscribe, follow me for more content like this.